Welcome to the Drunken Zombies Podcast, where every day we serve up a fresh, addictive zombie story. The kind that'll have you craving more tales of brains and mayhem.
Yeah.
I'm Adrian, your host for this gruesome ride.
And I'm Julia, here to break down these stories and figure out what makes them tick, or should I say bite.
Hey! Today we've got a story that blends con artistry and the zombie apocalypse.
Ooh.
In a thrilling way. Imagine using your street smarts not to score a quick buck, but to outsmart the undead.
It's a fascinating take on survival. Instead of just fighting off hordes, our protagonist, Leo Shifty Jones, uses deception and camouflage to navigate this dangerous world.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that this approach highlights the adaptability of humans. Even in the most extreme situations, we find ways to use our unique skills to survive.
So we're introduced to Shifty, who has perfected the art of blending in with the undead. Torn clothes smeared with grime, he even mimics their movements.
Wow.
The guy's a master of disguise.
His expertise in deception goes beyond just appearance, though.
Oh, yeah.
He understands zombie behavior, their patterns and their weaknesses. It's this deep understanding that allows him to move undetected among them.
But his solitary existence takes a turn when he encounters a group of survivors, a mother and a daughter trapped in a wrecked car.
Oh, no.
This is where things get really interesting. Shifty's conman code, which is all about self-preservation, is put to the test.
This encounter forces him to confront a crucial question. In a world overrun by the undead, does he risk his own safety to help others? It's a classic dilemma, amplified by the apocalyptic setting.
He's so used to looking out for number one.
Right.
But something about this situation, maybe the desperation in their eyes, triggers a change in him.
Right. It forces him to tap into a part of himself that he's been suppressing for survival.
Yeah.
His empathy is compassion.
And what does he do? He risks his own neck to save them. He even starts teaching them his zombie survival tricks.
Oh.
It's almost like he's passing on his legacy of deception and improvisation.
The techniques he shares are remarkable. He shows them how to use everyday objects for misdirection, create diversions, even how to pick locks and hotwire cars. It's a crash course in urban survival with a zombie twist.
But the danger doesn't stop there. They find temporary safety in an abandoned mall, but the zombies are evolving.
That's a terrifying twist.
Yeah.
And one that plays on our deepest fears about the unknown. The threat is constantly changing, becoming more coordinated, more unpredictable. It makes you wonder if there is a mutation in the virus, something that could shift the entire dynamic of the apocalypse.
Just when you think they've caught a break, a convoy of armored trucks arrives.
Yeah.
This is where the story takes an even darker turn.
The appearance of this convoy introduces a new layer of mystery and danger.
Yeah.
It suggests a shift in the power dynamics of this world. We're left wondering who's in control, what their motives are, and how our survivors will navigate this new threat.
It's like the calm before the storm, and something tells me this is just the beginning of their troubles.
And it makes you think about the nature of survival in such extreme situations. Is it about brute force, or is it about outsmarting both the undead and the living?
This is where we'll pause for now, folks.
Okay.
Join us for part 2, where we'll explore how Shifty's skills are put to the ultimate test against both the evolving undead and this mysterious new force. And don't forget to rate and follow for more tales from the undead side.
Welcome back to the Drunken Zombies Podcast, where we're unraveling a tale of survival, deception, and unexpected twists in the world of the undead.
Last time we left Shifty and our group of survivors holed up in a mall, facing not just the usual zombie horde, but a new breed of smarter, more coordinated undead.
Right.
And a mysterious convoy that's rolled into town. It's a recipe for disaster, but it also raises some fascinating questions about how we adapt and who we become in the face of unimaginable challenges.
Exactly. This episode really throws our survivors into a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Shifty, who's used to operating solo now, has to not only protect himself but also guide these others through a world that's constantly shifting.
Right.
And it's not just about physical survival. It's about the psychological toll that this kind of constant threat takes on you.
And that's where Shifty's unique skill set comes into play. He's not just a con artist.
Right.
He's a master manipulator, and he uses those skills to teach the others how to how to think like the enemy, anticipate their movements, and exploit their weaknesses.
It's like he's turning this abandoned mall into a giant classroom for zombie survival. He shows them how to use their surroundings to their advantage, turning everyday objects into tools of deception, creating diversions, setting traps.
He's even teaching them how to pick locks and hotwire cars. These are skills that would be useful in any apocalypse, but in this story, they're crucial for staying one step ahead of the undead.
And what I find fascinating is how these practical survival lessons are intertwined with a deeper exploration of human connection. Shifty, who's always been a lone wolf, starts to develop a sense of responsibility for this group.
He's not just looking out for himself anymore.
No.
He's becoming a leader, even if it's not a role he ever expected to play.
It makes you wonder if these extreme circumstances can bring out hidden depths in people, can push us to be more than we thought we were capable of.
And we have the arrival of that convoy. Those armored trucks were a clear sign that the power dynamics of this world were about to change.
The convoy represents a new faction in this apocalyptic world, one that's organized and potentially far more dangerous than the scattered hordes.
It's like the Wild West out there, with different groups vying for control and resources.
And our survivors are caught right in the middle, forced to make difficult choices about who to trust.
And just when things couldn't get any more intense, the ground literally explodes beneath them.
It's a shocking and unexpected turn of events, one that throws everything into disarray and raises the stakes even higher.
It leaves us with so many questions. Was it an accident, a deliberate attack?
Right.
And who or what could be behind it?
This cliffhanger is a brilliant way to end part 2. It leaves the listener on the edge of their seat, desperate to know what happens next, and it also forces us to consider the unpredictable nature of this world. Even when you think you've got a handle on things, something can come out of nowhere and completely change the game.
It's a reminder that in a zombie apocalypse, as in life, sometimes the greatest danger comes from the things we least expect. Welcome back to the Drunken Zombies Podcast. If you're just joining us, you might want to go back and listen to the first 2 parts, because things are about to get even crazier. We left off with our survivors reeling from that massive explosion that ripped through their supposedly safe haven. It was a game changer, a reminder that even in the midst of a zombie apocalypse, there are forces at work that are beyond our comprehension.
That explosion wasn't just a plot device, though. Mm-hmm. It was a symbol of the unpredictable nature of this world and the fragility of any sense of security our survivors might have had. It's a stark reminder that even when you think you've adapted to the chaos, something can come along and just shatter everything you thought you knew.
And it really puts Shifty's skills to the test. Remember, he's a con man, a master of deception. But can those skills help him navigate a situation where the rules themselves have been blown apart?
That's the question that hangs over this entire final part is Shifty's brand of survival enough in a world where the threats are becoming increasingly complex and unpredictable? It forces us as listeners to consider what truly matters in such dire circumstances. Is it cunning? Is it strength? Or is it something else entirely?
And then there's the question of trust. Can the other survivors truly rely on Shifty, given his past, or will his conman instincts lead him to betray them in the end?
The story plays with this tension beautifully. It keeps us guessing about Shifty's true motives right up until the very last moment, and that's what makes him such a compelling character. He's a survivor, but he's also a flawed human being, capable of both great acts of selflessness and moments of shocking betrayal.
And let's not forget about that mysterious convoy that showed up earlier. They represent a new kind of danger, a more organized and potentially far more sinister threat than the scattered hordes of undead.
The convoy adds a whole new layer of intrigue to the story. It suggests that even in the midst of this apocalyptic chaos, there are groups vying for power and control, and it makes you wonder what their end game is. Are they saviors? Are they conquerors? Or are they something else entirely?
It's like the Wild West out there. You never know who to trust, and every encounter could be your last.
And that sense of uncertainty is what makes this story so gripping. It keeps us on the edge of our seats, wondering what's going to happen next, and And it forces us to confront some uncomfortable truths about the nature of humanity under pressure.
So how does it all end? Well, you have to listen to find out, but I'll just say the ending is both surprising and satisfying. It leaves you with a lot to think about long after the story is over.
It's an ending that doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of this world, but it also offers a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can endure.
If you've enjoyed this thrilling journey into the world of the undead, make sure to rate and follow the Drunken Zombies podcast for more tales of brains, mayhem, and the will to survive. Until next time, keep those survival instincts sharp. And remember, even in the apocalypse, there's always a story to be told.